Alright guys, today I'm going to teach you my water droplets. It's super easy. I'm going to show you a quick and simple way to do it, and all you need is a canvas or canvas sheet or paper or anything painted in whatever color you want, and titanium white and Mars black. You will need a detail brush and another brush that you can use to smudge the colors. You can use the glazing liquid that I've mentioned in the past, or as I'm going to show you in this tutorial, you can just use water. So you'll have your canvas any size, any color. You don't want to really do white because then the white part of the bubble or water droplet that we're doing will not stand out. It's not impossible, but it just won't stand out as much. And I would stay away from probably stark black also. I have done many colors. I have done blues, I've done greens, I've done a textured gray that had lots of varying tones of gray, and those have all worked out. So you're going to start out by dipping your detail brush in Mars black, and you're just going to do, excuse me, kind of like a half circle. It does not have to be perfect. Set your brush aside and take your brush, anything. It could be another round brush, it could be a rough brush, it can be a filbert, it can be really anything. And you're going to want to dip it in the water, but then get most of the water off. And you're just going to come in and lightly smudge. This is not going to look perfect. It's okay, you can clean it up after. Just kind of smudge it so that the paint smears a little bit like that, okay? If it's too dark, you can come in with your finger and just kind of tap it. But the idea right now is just to smudge the black just enough, and you'll see why in a bit. Then rinse your smudging brush, rinse your detail brush, and you're going to want to get all that black out of your detail brush right now. Dry it off, and then dip it in titanium white. Now you're going to want to do the opposite. You're going to do the bottom of your circle. Okay. Again, it's all smudgy here. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. And now you're going to use your smudging brush again. Make sure it's not too wet or too dry. And you're going to come in and do the exact same thing you did before. Okay? This time you're going to come up into your black and kind of bring the two together here. Okay? If you feel like the white has gotten too muddied, rinse your brush out, add a little bit more white, and then just do it again. Okay. Okay. And I usually take my finger in the center and just try to lift some of the color off of the center there, just to make sure that it's a little bit more clear in there. Okay, so right now it doesn't look like much, but you can see kind of the shape. Now I'm cleaned off my smudging brush again, and I'm just going around the edges to clear off any kind of wonky spots that might be there. I'm not too worried about the bottom because in a minute here we'll be adding some shadow. Alright, so here comes some fun parts here. Okay, you're going to dip just in the pure white, and you're going to add just a little highlight to the top. Okay, that's where the light is entering the water droplet. And then you're going to come down here and add a little bit of a longer highlight. Okay, and you're going to rinse off the white, and now you're going to take just a tiny bit of black excuse me, And you're going to come in just under your bubble or water droplet, whatever you want to call it. Take your smudger, just dipped in a little bit of water again. Got too much water there. And you're going to come through and kind of blend it to form your shadow. Now you see my shadow's a little crazy looking here. So in just a second, as I'm doing now, I'm coming through with the cleaned brush and just cleaning up the edges so that it looks more round, kind of like the bubble. Now you're going to go back to your little detail brush, this time with a little bit of white. You're going to add a little bit of white there, and then take your smudger and you're going to smudge it in. Got a little bit too much of the smudging out, or excuse me, too much smudging there, so I'm going to come in with the white again. And I'm going to try again. Alright, so what this does is it adds a little bit of highlight in the shadow there so that it looks like your water droplet is just popping off the page. Now, just like with anything else in nature or anything that is, organic, it does not have to be perfect shape. So you can come in, I've done plenty of these in the past, and you can make them oblong. So come in, I'm actually going to switch out my brush because that one just wasn't working to my liking. I'm coming in with a different, more firmer bristled brush, and I'm going to come in and start gently smudging. There, that one's working much better there. Alright, so that's kind of what it's going to look like. Now you're going to do the same thing again with the white. Kind of make it kind of oval shaped. Like that. Okay. Take the smudger again, dip in a little water, dry a tiny bit off. And now come in and smudge your white. Remember blending into the black up there. I need a little bit more water. Okay. Keeping that kind of football shape there. Coming in and cleaning up my edges some. Alright. Now we're going to add our little highlights across the top. Your highlights do not have to be across the top and bottom. They can be on the sides. Just switch your coloring. You'll want to pay attention to the light source of your painting. So for me, the light source would be coming from above on here. If it were coming from below, you would reverse how you're doing these. If it were coming from the side, you'd swap it to the side. So you'll see a lot of doing this is cleaning up what you're doing. And the reason I do it that way is because, like I said, in nature, nothing is perfect. So I find overdoing it and then coming back through and kind of cleaning it up makes it look a bit more natural than if I were to just try to make it perfect from the beginning. Now, other artists might not like that, but I've never claimed to be like other artists. I prefer to kind of do my own thing and but what works for me doesn't always work for other people. So if you would rather try to make it perfect from the beginning, by all means, try to do that. Try to make your lines as smooth as possible. Try to, make it so that you don't have to clean up as much. This is just the way that I work. So, totally up to you. So now you guys know my little secret to making those fancy water droplets. I'm just going to add a little bit of a highlight right in there. All right, now you've seen me do the drips that are running down like a window or something. The way to do that is you're going to take your detail brush and you're going to kind of do a little swirly. My hand is very shaky today, so please bear with me. So you're just going to do like a little, swirly line. You make it as swirly as you want. And then at the bottom, you'll add kind of like a teardrop, let's say. Okay? Now I'm going to come in with my smudger. And I'm going to smudge the top kind of triangle-y point here. Get a little more water on there. Clear some of that out. Use my finger. Now I'm going to come through. And again, you can do this with the glazing liquid. I just know not everybody has it, so I'm teaching the water method right now, just for ease. So now we're just going to smudge the white, blend that in, like that. So for the elongated droplets, you can choose where your highlight goes on it. You can do it kind of on the side. You can do a couple going down like that, and then another down at the bottom. It's truly up to you because it is such an odd shape. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. Oh, there's my smudger. All right. I'm going to come in and clean up the edges here. All right. Okay. Oops, and I lost some of my weight detail there, so I'm just going to come back in. All right. Now to get the highlight going down along the side is really easy. You just dip in white and then just follow your squiggly line. If you miss a few spots here and there, it's okay because the highlights and the lowlights, oops, another brush here. And just follow as closely down as you can. And then you can add, like I said, more highlights wherever you want. Shadowing is exactly the same as the round droplets. Just take a little black. Smudge away. Clean it up, and then add your little highlight coming through there, and smudge it a little bit. So there you go, a little quick example of how to do water droplets. Oh, and one more thing. Water droplets are in lots of different sizes. You saw part of this in the window tutorial if you've had a chance to watch that yet. But you'll sometimes have little teeny tiny drops here and there, you know, that you can't really get all that detail in. So I just go in with the black, clean my brush, dip in the white, and just do a little highlight on it. And for like these C ones, just come in and kind of go like that. Does not have to be perfect. It's just giving you the illusion of water drops. Now this is kind of like the quick way to do these droplets. Sometime in the future, after I've taught a few more strokes and everything, I will teach you the more in-depth way of getting a super duper hyper realistic water droplet. But for right now, this is a quick way and an easy way to get some realistic droplets on your paintings. If you do not like the shadow underneath the drips, that's okay. Don't worry about it. You can take that off. I've done a window painting where I didn't do the shadow, and it looked completely fine. I just happen to really like the way it looks. You can actually pick a side instead of doing it on the bottom as well. So anyway, thanks guys, and thank you for putting up with my being all over the place with my tutorials. I am trying to work through all of that, but you guys have been in my classes and know how I am, so I'm hoping that's good. All right, bye.